everybody, myself Jyoti Baikar, and this is fifth lecture of particle nature of waves. Okay, so today we are going to study what is Compton effect. So J.J. Thomson in 1903 gave the theory of scattering of X-rays by matter using classical electromagnetic theory, and according to this theory, the scattered X-rays has the same wavelength as the incident X-rays. So the experimental results were found to be in good agreement with the classical theory for wavelengths greater than 1 angstrom. So for J.J. Thomson said that X-rays get scattered and the scattered wavelength has the wavelength same as that of the incident radiation. Now, what is Compton effect? When the X-rays of shorter wavelengths were scattered by light elements, it was found that in addition to the scattered X-rays of same wavelength, X-rays of wavelength slightly greater and than those of the incident beam were present in the scattered beam. And H. Compton in 1923 was the first to observe it, and hence this observation is called as Compton effect. So what is the difference between Thomson and Compton? Thomson said that the scattered X-ray radiation, it consists of the wavelength which is same as that of the incident radiation, and according to Compton, the scattered radiation, it consists of two wavelengths, one which is same as that of the incident radiation and another which has a wavelength slightly greater than that of the incident radiation, and this particular effect, it is called as Compton effect, and it was observed by Compton for the first time. So, according to quantum theory of radiation, an electromagnetic radiation of wavelength lambda and frequency nu consists of massless bundles of energy called photons, which behave as particles. Each photon has energy h nu and h momentum h nu hc by lambda, or where h is Planck's constant and c speed of light. So Compton's theory is based on the elastic collision between an incident photon and a free electron. Electron, it is not completely free, it is almost free. You can say that electron, it is loosely bound to the atom. That is how it is free to move in the atom, and that is how we are calling it as a free electron. Okay, so consider a fine beam of X-rays initially traveling in X direction, incident on a target. Suppose an X-ray photon strikes a comparatively free electron, and this electron, it is at rest. So see this diagram, it will become clear. So we have incident photon with energy E equals to h nu and momentum h nu by c, which is traveling in the x direction. It is made to fall on an electron which is the target, and this electron, it is at rest, so its momentum will be 0 and it will have a rest mass energy equals to m0 c square. Now when this photon, it collides with the target electron, the photon gets scattered and its energy, it is E dash equals to h nu dash, and momentum will be p nu equals to h nu dash by c, because nu dash, it is the scattered frequency of the photon, and the electron, it gets recoiled, and recoiled energy of electron, it is given by E equals to root of p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. Now why we are using this expression for energy? Here we have considered the relativistic expression for the recoiled electron, because electron, it has velocity comparable with the velocity of light. Whenever a particle, it has velocity comparable with the velocity of light, we use this relativistic expression for energy. So keep that in mind. Okay, so on collision, the photon imparts some kinetic energy to the electron. As a result, its energy decreases. Energy of photon, as it has transferred some amount of energy to electron, naturally its energy will decrease, and actually the incident photon is absorbed by the electron and then re-emitted with reduced energy. So suppose nu and nu dash with the frequencies of the photon before collision and after collision, and lambda dash the corresponding wavelengths. So h nu and h nu dash are the initial and final energies of the photon, and let p be the momentum of the electron after collision. Let theta be the angle through which the photon is scattered, and phi the angle that the recoiling electron makes with the x-axis. So this is all the theory of Compton effect. Now we have to solve the expression for Compton shift. So we will do that. Okay. Now from law of conservation of energy, we know that energy of the recoiled electron, it is equals to h nu minus h nu dash. ये है initial energy of photon and this is the energy of the scattered photon. दोनों को subtract करेंगे, we will get energy of electron. Now we are going to apply law of conservation of linear momentum in x direction and y direction. So suppose we take along x direction में energy of photon, momentum of photon plus momentum of electron. Momentum of electron, it will be zero because electron it is at rest, तो उसका कोई मोमेंटम नहीं होगा. इट इज इक्वल्स टू एच न्यू डैश अपॉन सी कॉस थीटा प्लस पी कॉस फाई. दिस इज द एक्स कंपोनेंट वी आर टेकिंग ऑफ द momentum of scattered photon, momentum of electron. And along y direction we will get there will not be any momentum of photon along y direction. There will not be any momentum of electron along y direction because जो photon है that is moving only along x axis. And momentum of scattered photon along y direction, it is h nu dash upon c sin theta minus p sin phi, because these two are moving in opposite direction. That is how here we will get minus sign. So if I rewrite these two equations, what I will get? I can write this first equation as h nu by c, it is equals to minus h nu dash upon c cos of theta, it is equals to p cos phi. Suppose this is equation 1, and I can write this equation as h nu dash upon c sin of theta, it is equals to p sin of phi. This is equation 2. Now what we will do, squaring and adding these two equations. तो इसका square लेंगे. So this is a minus b whole square. So I will apply the formula a square minus 2ab plus b square. So it will be h square nu square by c square minus 2ab 2h square nu dash cos of theta upon c square plus b square, that is h square nu dash square upon c square cos square theta. This is equals to p square cos square phi. Okay, and I will take square of this also. So I will get h square nu dash square upon c square sin square theta. It is equals to p square sin square phi. Now we have to add these two equations. So what I will get, h square nu square upon c square minus 2h square nu dash cos theta upon c square, h square nu dash square upon c square cos square theta plus h square nu dash square upon c square sin square theta. So I can take this term as constant. Inside the bracket I will get cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is 1. So I can simply write h square nu dash square upon c square. And here also p square cos square phi plus p square sin square phi. P square I will take common. Inside the bracket I will get cos square phi plus sin square phi, which is 1. So here simply I will get p square. Now multiplying throughout by c square. So what I will get? H square nu square minus 2h square nu dash cos theta plus h square nu dash square. It is equals to p square c square. Throughout the equation I have multiplied by c square. So from these three terms c square got cancelled and here I am getting p square c square. Suppose this is equation 3. So here Compton treated the problem relativistically. So relativistic in the sense he treated that electron has velocity comparable with the velocity of light. Now suppose m0 is the rest mass of electron, then its rest energy is m0 c square and total energy is E. So E, it is given by E equals to under root p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. Now squaring both sides, so we will get E square equals to p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. Now we know that total energy of electron, it is the sum of its rest energy and kinetic energy. So E, it is rest energy plus kinetic energy. Rest energy of electron, it is given by m0 c square, and kinetic energy, we know that it is nothing but the difference between the energy of photon minus energy of scattered photon, है ना? So on squaring this we will get E square equals to a plus b whole square. So again we will apply a square plus 2ab plus b square. So we will get m0 square c raised to 4 plus 2m0 c square h nu minus h nu dash plus इसका square. So I will get h square nu square minus 2h square nu dash plus h square nu dash square. So I got this expression. Okay, now e square की value क्या है? E square is nothing but p square c square plus m0 c raised to 4. Suppose this is equation 4. Substituting equation 4 in equation 5. So e square की जगह पे I will write down p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. So p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4, it is equals to m0 square c raised to 4 plus h square nu square plus h square nu dash square minus 2h square nu dash plus 2m0 c square h nu minus h nu dash. Okay, so same expression. m0 square c raised to 4, m0 square c raised to 4 will get cancelled, and p square c square की value we will substitute from the equation 3. Equation 3 में p square c square की value थी. That value I will substitute here. So equation 3 की value क्या थी? P square c square की value, what was it? P square c square, it is nothing but h square nu square plus h square nu dash square minus 2h square nu dash cos of theta. It is equals to this h square nu square plus h square nu dash square minus 2h square nu dash plus 2m0 c square h nu minus h nu dash. H nu dash, h square nu square cancelled, h square nu dash square cancelled, and 2h square nu dash we can take common, so I can get this as 1 minus cos theta. So what I'm getting is if I rewrite these terms, I will get 2h square nu dash cos theta minus plus 2h square nu dash, it is equals to 2m0 c square h common nu or h nu minus h nu dash, let it be like this only. So if I can take 2h square nu dash common, 1 minus cos theta, it is equals to 2m0 c square h nu minus h nu dash. If I rewrite these terms, I'll get h nu minus h nu dash upon nu dash. I shifted nu dash to this side. It is equals to h square upon m0 c square into 1 minus cos theta, because I have divided this 2 also on both the sides. Okay, I'm getting this. So multiplying throughout by c, so I will get c upon nu dash minus c upon nu, it is equals to h upon m0 c into 1 minus cos theta. एक h मैंने cancel कर दिया, h nu upon nu dash, h nu dash upon nu dash, so I am getting h upon h तो cancel हो गया ना, nu upon nu dash, that means nu by nu dash 1 by nu dash minus 1 by nu, that was what I was getting, and then मैंने c से भी multiply किया, so I am getting this term. So c by nu, we know that c equals to nu lambda, so c by nu, it is equals to lambda. So c by nu dash, it is lambda dash, c by nu, it is lambda, it is equals to h upon m0 c into 1 minus cos theta. So this lambda dash minus lambda, it is nothing but delta lambda, which is called as Compton shift. So this is the expression for Compton shift, and delta lambda, it is called as Compton shift. H upon m0 c, this term, it is called as Compton wavelength of the scattering particle, and if you will calculate its value comes out to be 0.243 angstrom, and 1 minus cos theta is maximum when theta is pi, and maximum value of Compton shift, it is around 0.0486 angstrom. So from this expression we know that Compton shift is independent of the wavelength of incident radiation, it is independent of the nature of the target, it depends only on the angle of scattering, and the maximum value of Compton shift is 0.0486 angstrom.